and welcome to Flosstube number 12. You have reached Stitcher Trish and her nerdy husband Stephen.
Woohoo!
And today is Saturday, February 26th, 2022. And thank you so much for choosing to spend a little time with us today. We are teachers, high school teachers, and we live in Central North Carolina. There's been so many new subscribers, and I'm so grateful to all of you who have subscribed to the channel. I just want to kind of give you a little bit of background on us in case you haven't gone back and watched the other 11 episodes. We're high school teachers. I'm a high school band director, and Stephen is a paraeducator and essentially an exceptional children's teacher's assistant at our school, and we both teach at the same high school. So since we've seen you last, things have been a little busy and a little hectic because, you know, that's the way it works with teaching school. You think things are going to calm down a little bit in February, but they actually never do because we get into what we call honor band season. Our students audition for special opportunities. We call them region bands and district bands here in North Carolina. And then the kids that get in these bands, we take them off for weekends so they can work with groups of students from all over our part of the state, and they put on concerts. And it's a lot of weekend intensive activities. So we've had a lot of that going on. We are in the midst of preparing for our state music performance adjudication, or basically our state assessment for band. That happens in mid-March. So things have been a little hectic at school, a little intense. I've been trying to bring in outside guests and clinicians. We're blessed with a wonderful music community around us, lots of universities. So bringing in some the collegiate band directors to work with my students and give them a different perspective and help them get better. So we've been busy. We're always busy anyway.
And we went to a concert.
And we actually went to an indoor concert. We have a wonderful professional wind symphony here in Winston-Salem. It's called the Piedmont Wind Symphony. And they performed a piece at one of our local churches, which is a gorgeous, humongous church. They did a concert. They featured Demondre Thurman, who is a fantastic euphonium player. Please go check him out if you want to hear some of the best music ever. If you don't know about euphonium, euphonium means voice of the gods, or voice of God is its translation. He's fantastic. So I got to see him perform, and they performed a piece called Maslanka's Fourth Symphony, written by David Maslanka, his Fourth Symphony, one of my all-time favorite band pieces. It was a glorious concert, and it just was a transcendent experience for us. So that was one of the cool, exciting things we got to do besides take kids to this and that. Our non-exciting thing that we got to do was that we both got COVID. We're vaccinated and boosted, so it wasn't a horrible experience, but it was less than pleasurable. We did our 5 days out of work, and we were back. I felt worse than Stephen did, but we grazed by with it not being too horrible for us. So I think other than that, we've had a pretty good February. Yeah, things have been going pretty well. So again, thanks for joining us, and I want to go ahead and jump into what stitching I've managed to get done in the last little bit. I didn't have anything that I got finished this time, but that's okay. And I was promised I was going to get in and do some FFOs and finish some. That didn't happen either. So I don't think I've sat at the sewing machine outside of having to make a few more bell covers for my students, but hopefully that's going to change. So let me jump in and show you I don't know, mid-January, I was working on this. This is Teresa Kogut's Above All. And this is what the front of the pattern booklet looks like. And I'll show you what I managed to get accomplished. So, this is pretty much a traditional sampler, and it's the first traditional style sampler that I've ever worked on. It's just never appealed to me, but this one did, and I got into it and have really, really enjoyed it. The border was intricate, but it was a lot of fun. It never got boring, even though it's a repetitious pattern. I really, really enjoyed that. And then what I'm doing with this one is using all of the called for flosses, and but I use the DMC options. She gives you overdyed options and DMC options, and I went with the DMC option because it was just easier, and I could just go to Joann's and I didn't have to go searching. But I had a lot of fun working on this, and this is on a 40 count Fortnight Fabrics Burgundy Truffle. One that I've had in stash for quite a while. So again, really enjoying this. It's quite pleasurable, and then I'll get back to it. I just set it aside and I'll explain why when I get to one of my other pieces. So that's Miss Kogut's piece. And then the next one that I spent time working on is my Long Dog Samplers, Templar Prophecy. This one I have been working on for about a year. I think I started it in February last year, somewhere along that neighborhood. So I finished up the 4th page, which is right through here, and started on the 5th. And I am doing this on a 16 count Aida, and it's an ivory Aida, which is not going to matter in the long run because most of it ends up black. But I'm using a Silks for You floss silk from the folks in Australia, and it's just pretty much black all the way through. There's some variegation in it, but I'm doing 2 strands over one Aida box. But anyway, this is coming along. I love the border at the top. I don't love stitching the border at the top. It is very tedious for me. I love getting into these parts. So I did this much at one of the honor bands while I was watching the district jazz band rehearse. I sat out in the auditorium, watched the gentleman teach them, and managed to get this stitched. So it was good. This is an easy one to take with me because it's Aida and it's large enough I could see it in a dark auditorium. But anyway, moving along on this one. And then the last piece that I worked on this month is one from Plum Street Samplers, and I'll show you what the finished product should look like at the end. Actually, let me just do this. There we go. So this is what it will look like eventually. So Summer Delivery is the name of it, from Plum Street Samplers, and it is, I'm putting it on a 40 count linen, and the name of this linen is So Vain. It's from Fortnight Fabrics, and I am changing all the colors. Every single color is my own conversion. I have never done this before. This is me trying to dip into my stash and be brave and use what I have instead of going and buying more. I have been doing, belong to the Be Stitch Me Silks of the Month Club for quite a while now. I've built up a collection, so I decided to dip into those and do a conversion on this. The horse in the original is white. I've converted it to a brown horse to match the horses of the person who I'm doing this for. She owns horses, and I'm trying to match the color of her horses. So the reds are a little bit different than the original, but I think they're working okay. They're going pretty well. And then over here's the sheep and all that, and there's some color conversion I'm going to do on the sheep as well. But I'm using 1 strand of silk over 2 strands of, or 2 threads, 1 over 2. So anyway, I'm having a good time on this one. It's been quite enjoyable, and it's the first time I've really used my Be Stitch Me flosses. I've been collecting them and then hanging them in the closet. So I was excited to use them, and I'm just going to show you my palette of what I picked out. And I've not changed anything from my original selections yet. That may happen once I put in a string or 2 in, and then if I don't like it when I start stitching the sheep, I'll just switch that up. So those are the 3 things that I've worked on for the last month and a half or so. And I did purchase a little bit of a haul, a few goodies out there. Last Flosstube, I showed you pattern 1 from Cottage Garden Samplings, Year in the Woods. So my beloved purchased this one for me because he knew I'm collecting all 12 of them, and my intention is to do all 12 on 1 piece of linen, which is an option on the Cottage Garden Samplings website. If you go check out their website, they've got a beautiful layout, and they show you options to do 3 of the pieces, because there's 12 total, obviously. Well, not obviously. There's 12 total, and they're 3 for each season, and they have fabric options where you can put 3 on each thing. You can do them individually, or you can do all 12 on one piece of fabric. So that's what I'm going to do. And my plan, I haven't asked my daughter-in-law this yet, but my plan is to do that for my grandson and have it framed for him to go in his bedroom, hopefully before he turns 20 and moves away from home. So.
And just to clarify, I am the beloved that you mentioned.
Yes, you are. Absolutely. And then I purchased another pattern. This from Glendon Place. It's a Woodland Wonder. I'm not a seasonal stitcher. I just, I gravitate towards mostly dragon type things, and we'll do those. But I saw this, I think the first time, I want to say it was on Sunshine Stitchers. Gary did this, and it's on his wall for Christmas time. So then I got to looking around on Instagram and that sort of stuff, and found other people who had done this. And I didn't realize, seeing it from a distance, that half of this is beads. But once I saw that, I love beaded pieces. So I had to get it, and one day I'll get started on it. And it does. It has, all the trees have beads all through it. So beautiful piece. And when you see a pattern that you just fall in love with, you better purchase it, because it might not be there the next time, because they'll take things out of print. So I just had to jump on that one before it disappeared on me. So other haul is my Bestitch Me Silk of the Month Club. So this month's theme was Purple Aura, A-U-R-A. I know my Southern, that probably sounds different, but Aura. And these are the colors, are beautiful purples. They are absolutely gorgeous. From this side to this side as Lily of the Nile. And the next one she calls Peace of Mind. Then Lavender, Sugar Plum, and Clematis. And it really is the color of an actual clematis flower. My mother has a clematis vine that she's had forever, and they're beautiful purple flowers. But these wonderful purples, I'm very excited about them. And then I belong to Fortnight Fabrics, Fabric of the Month Club. And the first installment for January came in. And this is Peanut Gallery is what they named it. It's actually part of the Brown collection. They have 4 or 5 different fabric clubs, and I belong to the one that's Meet the Browns is what they've called it. So this is an interesting, very dark brown, and Peanut Gallery is what they named it. So looking forward to using that sometime. It'll just, for the moment, hang in the closet, because I hang all of my linens up with a pant hanger, and they live in the closet until I go dig through and pull them out and decide what I'm going to put on them. So that's all the haul that I have for this month as well. I do want to let you all know that Stephen and I have an Etsy shop. It's called Foreverusneedleraft. We have a few bags and scissors, fobs, and things like that, needleminders that are in the shop. We have not been working on the shop stuff very much lately. Do you wonder why? So there's some stock in there. We need to get back to that, and we will get back to it at some point. This is next couple of months are also going to be a little hairy with stuff going on, but we look forward to getting back in the sewing room and doing a little work. As far as plans, Lent starts on Wednesday, and every year for Lent, well, the last 2 years for Lent, I have a piece by Modern Folk Embroidery that I tend to work on, and I'm planning to work on that, and I'll sprinkle in some other things, and I'll show you that on my next Flosstube. Hopefully I'll have some final finished objects for you, some things I need to get put together, some pillows I want to do, and wall hanging. So those are my plans for the upcoming stitchy time that we have. We got to plan our prom outfits, so we may end up in the sewing room working on that. We're thinking about going a little bit off the wall for prom this year.
A little steampunk, maybe.
Maybe a little steampunk, but we have to work the prom. That's just a requirement. Our high school is very big, 2,400-ish students, so our prom is 2,000 kids, so it's all hands on deck at that event. So we're just going to go a little silly and entertain ourselves more so than the kids, and maybe a couple of the students will be like, what? So who knows, but it'll be fun. So I think that's what we're planning to do. Anything else you can think of we're planning to do?
Going to a concert.
We're going to a concert, that's right. We have tickets 3 weeks. It's not quite 3 weeks. Yeah, right at 3 weeks. To go down and see
Crash Test Dummies.
Crash Test Dummies. Those of you that are on the world of Flosstube a lot, you probably know Ellen Reid of Maximum Cross Stitch Power Hour. She's one of the members of the band, and Steven has been a huge fan of Crash Test Dummies forever. I mean, he introduced me to them. I didn't know who they were.
Came out.
Yeah, so since they're going to be really close to us, about an hour, 15-minute drive, we bought tickets and we're going to get to go see them. So that's our big excitement, that and surviving our state assessment for me. That he's not really involved in that other than having to live with me during state assessment, which is no easy task. So send him your well wishes.
Pray for me.
Yeah, he's going to need it because I get a little intense. So we're looking for warmer weather because we are tired of cold. And I know you folks in the north are like, yeah, you're lightweights. And yes, we are. But we are tired of cold and snow and yucky weather. We've had our share of it this year, more so than usual. So I hope all of you are doing well. And again, thank you so much for all the new folks that have subscribed to the channel. When I hit 400, I hope to do a giveaway when we hit 400 subscribers, and we're really getting pretty close. So again, thank you so much. Whoever shouted me out, drop a comment in the box below if you know who mentioned me besides Dr. Christie. I know she did, and she's been mentioning me forever. I'll have her linked in the description box below, along with everything else that I've mentioned, so you can look all those things up if you'd like to. Again, thanks so much for stopping in. I hope you have a wonderful March. Happy St. Patrick's Day, and take care. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.